Governorate is one of the most important touristic destinations in Egypt. It's 245 kilometers south of Cairo, almost midway between Cairo and Luxor. It combines between 5 historical ages: the Pharaonic, the Islamic, the Coptic, the Greek, and the Roman. Its quarries has got the finest quality of alabaster. Its borders includes 5 historical nomes or regions. All these advantages put El Minya on a very distinctive location on the touristic map of Egypt. The original name of Bani Hassan area is Bani Hassan el-Shuruq, or Bani Hassan of the East. That name goes back to the time when an Arabian tribe called the Sons of Hassan inhabited this eastern bank of the Nile in El Minya. But the history of the place itself is a lot older than that and of great importance. After the end of the Old Kingdom and during the first intermediate period in the 9th and 10th dynasties, there was a big struggle between a nome in Middle Egypt and a house in Upper Egypt. In other words, it was between Ignacia and Thebes. It ended by the victory of one of the Theban houses, which is the house of Mentuhotep II, the founder of the 11th dynasty. The district's governors who witnessed this period played an effective role in that struggle, especially the rulers of the districts of Middle Egypt, including the rulers of nome number 16, the Ibex nome. That gave them the power to talk and act like kings in their districts. This situation continued until the reign of King Sesostris III in 1874 BC, when he reinforced the centralization of the capital in El-Lesht, or Fayoum. The golden time of the district's governors is widely shown in their impressive rock tombs that stretches for miles in a long chain along the hills of the east bank of the Nile, standing right in front of Abu Korka's center. Being this enormous, they form a whole cemetery called Bani Hassan. It is a cemetery of the 16th nome of the Ibex. It's famous for its rock-cut tombs, which date mostly to the Middle Kingdom era. The area comprises 39 tombs, some of which belong to the governors of the Ibex nome. The tombs of Bani Hassan are considered an inclusive record of the life and creeds of its owners, shedding a lot of light on their era. The architectural design of the tombs is basically simple. In most cases, the tomb is composed of one hole, which ceiling rests on few columns. Some of them have a chapel for the statue of the owner, in addition to a burial shaft. As for the art, its artists followed the two schools of realism and perfection, with an emphasis on some of the local characteristics. The walls of Bani Hassan tombs have scenes of everyday life, including wild and river hunting, agricultural scenes, animals grazing, crafts, taxation, sculpture, sports, playing music, and amusing games. There are also funeral scenes, like the deceased's pilgrimage to Abydos, and presenting offerings and scenes of the funeral. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Alberto and I come from Spain.
Okay, so how did you hear about Egypt?
Well, since I was a child, I always dreamed to make this trip. So now, for the first time, I have the opportunity, and I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, so what have you seen so far?
Yes, I arrived to El Cairo with my friend, and we had the opportunity to visit the city center, Tahrir, and now the Egyptian Museum, and also Kal Khalil, and the outskirts. Nice, Giza.
All right, so you've seen quite a bit.
Yeah, not bad. Also with Saqqara pyramids. So yeah, I consider myself very lucky, because of this tour.
And Tahrir Square, you didn't miss Tahrir Square, right?
No, of course we didn't, and we had the opportunity also to eat in some very typical Egyptian places and to taste this really tasty food. So we are really happy also.
So what did you eat?
Okay, full. What was the name of this?
Falafel?
Falafel for sure also, and it was really good also.
Koshari?
Koshari. I remember, a mix of different macaron, pasta. I don't know. Okay.
Kebab, kofta, shish.
Kofta. Kofta. And also we tried the shisha. It's like
Shisha.
shisha.
So he smoked the bubbly.
That's right.
Okay, so today you've been inside the Egyptian Museum. What do you think about? What did you like?
Okay, you could spend the whole day, visit the museum because it's something really amazing. But okay, we highlight the Tutankhamun galleries, also some old kingdom and medium era kingdom, and animals galleries also. Oh,
Yeah, actually, you're very good, actually.
thank you.
Because you know the difference between kingdoms. And Tutankhamun is a highlight of the museum, that's true.
Okay, my mother is a teacher actually, but I know that Tutankhamun is probably the most famous pharaoh, but not the most important one. So anyway, I saw also Nefertiti, Tutmosis the Third, or another. Yeah, not bad.
No, not bad at all. You remember all these names. So where will you go from here?
Okay, we decided to take the train and to go to Aswan, and then we are planning to hire a felucca and sail the Nile until Luxor, and then we will take some days to rest in Hurghada.
All right. So I wish you enjoy the rest of your tours in Egypt.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be, so hard to come back to the work after this.
Okay, so we will be expecting you to come back.
Definitely. I love this country, and for sure I will go back.
Thanks, Alberto.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. Amun Emhat is the owner of this rock tomb in Bani Hassan. He was a governor of the 16th nome of Upper Egypt during the reign of King Sesostris II. His name means God Amun is in the front. The vivid details of daily life activities, in addition to the collection of crafts and the possessions of the owner, make this tomb an example of all the possessions and all the life of a person who lived during the Middle Kingdom in Egypt. This tomb is simply the life of Amun Emhat.
Amun Emhat was one of the greatest governors of the Ibex nome. He had a nickname, Emeni, and his name means God Amun is in the front. It's written at the end of the vertical column in the text inscribed on the outer wall of the tomb, above and on both sides of the entrance. Here, he presented himself and his titles at the top and on the right and left sides. He talked about the great deeds and benefits he bestowed on his people, not forgetting the famous Hatib Dinisu, or the formal presentation in which he praises God Amun in the name of his spirit and double, who lived with him throughout his life and dwells in his tomb forever after his death. The ceiling of the tomb is vaulted and decorated with geometrical square designs. It attracts the attention with its height that reaches 7 meters. Each side of the hall is 11.58 meters. The hall is divided into a central aisle and 2 side aisles by 2 rows of columns. Each is 16-sided, and each